I'm Leah Lindeman, author of the Canadian Reminiscence series, which is historical fiction. And if you want to check them out, take a look at the links down in the description box below. And if you have read my books at all, please leave a review on Amazon or Goodreads. Reviews are very helpful for authors. So we've looked at the pros and cons of self-publishing and the pros and cons of traditional publishing. And now I want to go deeper into the whole soul of the matter. We've looked at the whats and the whens and the wheres and the hows, but not exactly the why. And this is very crucial into making a decision of what you're going to do. Are you going to self-publish or are you going to traditional publish? So let's dig deep into that discussion in this episode. And I hope that this helps you have some clarity on what choice you're going to make for your own publishing journey and your own entry into the author world. Let's begin. First, I want to tap into who you are. What is your personality like? We're not talking about character, things that can change over time and that can get better, such as being more patient or being more loving or being more joyful. We're talking about who you are intrinsically as a person. Who are you? Are you someone that likes to go with the flow, that is happy to go with the flow? Or are you someone who needs to kind of blaze his or her own trail in life? Are you someone that gets energy from being on your own, or are you someone that gets energy from being with people, groups of people? Which kind of goes into, are you an introvert or an extrovert? What drives you in life? How do you view success? These are all questions that are crucial to asking yourself to know and decide what paths you're going to take in life. Because whether you self-publish or whether you go with the traditional publishing route, they are both vastly different and are going to take you on different journeys as an author and as a writer. But did you know you could actually do both? And maybe you haven't thought about this, but Joanna Penn, who is a very successful author, both as a traditionally published author and a self-published author, is successful in both of these spheres, and she is called a hybrid author. So that is also one possibility that you can do, and that's something that I might explore in the future as being a hybrid author. So right now I'm self-published, but it's something that I'm looking into way in the future anyways. But ask yourselves those questions. And the asking yourselves these questions and taking time to meditate on these things and really understanding what makes you tick, what makes you excited, will help you make these decisions. So I told you the pros and cons of both. But when you were listening to both, what journey seemed to entice you the most? What journey excited you the most at the core? 1, 2, 3, go. Say the publishing journey that was the most attractive to you. And chances are that whatever journey popped into your head first will be the one for you, because all of us have that gut instinct that many times serve us very well, specifically for decisions like these. But of course, obviously, that's why I laid out the pros and cons, so you can also have a level head and think about it logically as well. Let's talk a little bit about how you define success. Now, traditional publishing was the most successful route, but that's not exactly the case for today. As you can see, with hard work and maybe just a different way of going about things, you can also be successful as a self-published author. But I want you to think about what defines success in your head. Does success look like J.K. Rowling having tons of series of books, loads of money, movies being made out of your books? Or does it look like just having a product that you can share with your friends and family without having to make a ton of money? You have to decide what kind of success you're aiming for, and that can also help you determine what route you want to go. Obviously, traditional publishing will give you a greater foot in the door in that sense, but that's not necessarily the case. With self-publishing, you can learn the skills necessary to get yourself at that level as well. It just might be more of a learning curve, but maybe you'll enjoy that learning curve. And I also want to challenge you to think of success not in terms of what the end goal is, but what the journey looks like. Does a successful journey look like working with people at a traditionally publishing house, having that team behind you and serving you and your goal? Or does it look like picking your own team and kind of going about on a different journey where you discover different skills and going at your own pace? You need to understand what success looks like to you. Another thing I want to touch on is a lot of the times we do things because we think we care about what people are going to think about us. So this is how I used to think when I was thinking about this question of which way do I go. I was thinking, well, I should go traditionally published because people are going to look up to me as more of like that's the stable choice. That's the choice that is going to bring me the most traditional definition of success, if you will. But I want to challenge you to not do things because of how you think people are going to perceive you and your work, but do it because you love it. Do it because you are excited for it. Because let's say you go the traditional publishing route and you don't think you're going to enjoy it because you want that creative control, but you're doing it just because, let's say, you want the fame or the money or whatever host of factors you want to throw in there. And then the end product is, sure, you get a book on the shelves, but did you enjoy the process? Did you enjoy the journey? Or it could be the other way around too. Maybe you decide, I'm going to self-publish because it's more entrepreneurial and people are going to maybe respect me more because I did it my own way. But it's just miserable because you don't enjoy the skills perhaps necessary to output something like that. You just don't enjoy going it alone. You'd rather have a team backing you that's given to you, and there's so many factors in that as well. So you have to decide, you have to figure out, what am I excited to do for me, not for what my family's going to think or what my friends are going to think or what other peers in the author world are going to think. What is going to be good for me? What is my journey going to look like? And am I going to enjoy it? Because you want to enjoy it. You don't want to be doing it and you're miserable, and then that takes you away from the craft of writing. We're writers because we love to write, but because we love to write and we want to output and we want people to see our work, we have to go through this process of doing so. And you want to choose a process that is going to foster your love for writing, not drain it and suck it away. And let me touch on one more aspect that I want you to think of. Both ways, traditional publishing and self-publishing, they both require a lot of hard work. Just because you take this traditional publishing way does not mean you are a softie, and taking the self-publishing way does not mean that you're going to get instant success. Both ways are going to come with hardship. Both ways are going to come with rejection. And that's something that, if you're not ready for that, then perhaps steel your mind for it and look forward to the obstacles, because with obstacles, that's when you can overcome and build your character and increase it. Traditional publishing, it takes a lot of grit and hard work because you have to send out so many query letters to agents and then dealing with so many rejections, mostly. I mean, you might be the needle in the haystack that gets an acceptance within the first 10 queries, and that's great. But most probably you're going to have to suffer through 50 to 100 rejections. And you have to ready yourself for that mental battle of, I am good enough, and perhaps, these agents aren't picking up my work for a variety of different reasons, which I'm going to let you guys know about a book called 77 Reasons Why Your manuscript is being picked up by an agent or something like that. And I will put that book in the description box below, because that is an amazing tool of knowing why your book isn't being picked up if you are going the traditional publishing route. But that requires a lot of grit and mental fortitude. And I remember when I got my first rejection letter, it was a rainy day, it was gray, and I got it, well, in email, and my spirits just plummeted and tanked. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm not writing anymore. It's not good enough for the world. And I was like that for a day. But then I remembered how much I loved writing, and that, no, this was what was meant to be. And I did do, as I said, I did query I probably queried about 24 agents. And then I just realized, not because of getting rejection. Some sent an email saying that they were not taking me on because they weren't looking for this, or it didn't fit with their timeline, or I just never received a rejection at all. But I decided to go self-publishing just because of looking at these reasons of who am I, how I define success, what I want my journey to look like. Obviously, with self-publishing, we've looked extensively at all the hard work that encompasses in terms of learning new skills like marketing, and also just editing and all the different factors that we talked about previously in the previous videos that I put out in the series. But both roads require hard work, and we shouldn't look at other people on either road and say, oh, my road is better than yours. No, everybody's journey is different and tailored to what they've decided for them, and we need to celebrate that. To clinch this all off, I hope that these points have maybe stirred some thoughts in your mind of why you're doing what you're doing and what kind of success you want to see in your writer's life, and the journey that you foresee yourself having. And let me just throw this back out there. I know it's kind of a basic concept, but I just want to say it again. Sometimes we get too caught up in the end goal of, getting lots of money for our books and seeing movie deals with our books, which is awesome, by the way. That would be an awesome thing to have, but it is not the end goal. And yeah, having our name be famous and everybody knows who we are, those are all cool stuff to have on the side. But why do we do what we do? We love it because we love the craft of writing. We write because it fills our soul and satisfies us. And we do it because we love our readers, and we want to engage with readers in the reading community and share that innermost part of us that comes out in our writing. And that's what I want to throw out there today. Just think about these points. Yes, the pros and cons are handy to have because we need to use logic when we are making decisions, but I also want you to trust your gut. Trust who you are and what you know of yourself, and what you know is going to be a satisfying journey for you. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. You can subscribe, ring the bell below. And next week will be we're done the series on traditional publishing versus self-publishing. So next week we will look into a new subject for you guys. I hope you have a great week. Take care and stay tuned for next week.